What does a country need today to become more attractive in terms of tourism and hospitality? And why is it important to try to attract international brands and international investments and not to rely on local business only?
I think countries where we've seen growth for international investors and international capital deployed, what they have in common is that there is some sort of stability, so economic and political stability, and I think those are key. Otherwise, there will simply just not be enough international tourists visiting the country. We see that, for example, Armenia is sort of leading in this aspect of the region, and that hopefully will continue, and more countries will become more stable, because I think one country cannot change a whole region necessarily, so you will need a couple more countries to be in a similar situation. And it's always a chicken and an egg situation, I think. You invest more international capital because they see the potential in the region, and they see the potential in the region because there are more internationals arriving in the region. And by more international capital, more international brands will come, more international brands will attract more international tourists, and then so it's like an upward spiral. You know, these factors help each other out. So I think international investors generally seek stability, they seek good returns. They want to make sure that they put their money in a situation where the risks are calculated, that the risks are mitigated by strong performance of hotels, and then once they decide to sell the hotel in 5, 10, 20 years time, then they will get better money back than what they invested, or more money back. I think when it comes to international brands and international investors, it goes hand in hand, partly because international investors perhaps understand better why they need an international brand to drive business, to elevate their product, to distinguish it from existing products, whereas with local investors it sometimes takes a bit more convincing. And international brands will always bring something unique, whether it's a fantastic product. I know the Pullman was signed last year in Yerevan, so it can be that it's something that is not yet present in the market. But they also bring their massive loyalty programs, which means that if you have a Marriott property, you have access to Marriott's I don't know how many million loyal customers, and they will then see it on the booking website. So they will then look at locations that they would have never guessed, never would have considered. But now, because they say, oh, well, I've been to a Marriott in Prague, now I see that there is one in Yerevan, then let's try. So I think this is probably the biggest strength of international brands, and it also helps the investors to, first of all, to get a bank loan, or if they want to sell it, it's a much more advantageous position that they are in then. So I think it's never a one-sentence answer, unfortunately, but I hope this is good.
From 0 to 10, how attractive is today's Armenia for international investments?
I would say it's certainly in the top half. It's difficult to say. I mean, I think I would put it sort of like 7.5. The reason is that it is unfortunately surrounded by geopolitical conflicts, right? If we go north, there is the Russia-Ukrainian war. If we go further south, now just recent developments of the Iranian crisis. So that has limiting factors, unfortunately. And hopefully, for everybody's sake, these will be resolved soon. But in today's world, I think a lot of investors will look at Armenia with some tentativeness because of this. They will say, let's wait it out, before we deploy our capital. Whereas in more stable markets, it would be a bit more flow coming into the market. So I think, but at the same time, the country has shown great resilience. After COVID, despite the war, despite the regional conflicts, it's a very attractive market. So that's why I would definitely put it in a strong position. But I think there is still a bit more to unlock because of these conflicts.
What can Armenia do in this field? Because the geopolitical situation is not really something we can change at the moment. But are there any steps we can take today?
I think what I've heard today from the conference so far is that the government is fully committed to driving hospitality investment, to doing it in a sustainable way, which means that it's going to elevate not just the local economy, but it will also elevate people's lives by having infrastructure development, public transport, etc. These are all necessary. So I think, and these are things that the country can control, as you say. So I think continuing on this and making sure that there are best practices deployed in the country, maximizing the country's sort of internal potential, and then the external factors, yes, they unfortunately play a hand. But I think the current developments and what the panelists have been discussing are so positive that I don't know if there is anything additional that can be done. I think some patience is needed. Real estate is not the fastest moving thing, right? It takes time to build a hotel, it takes to sell a hotel. But I think from what I've heard, the direction is very positive.
Today there are quite a few international hotel brands here in Armenia. How do you see this field developing in the nearest future?
Mm-hmm. I think there will be more coming, certainly. I think it's partly inevitable, but also partly necessary. I think it's a good thing. It shows that the market is maturing, the market is stable. And I think, as I said, that international investors will probably bring more international operators and brands with them. So I think it will evolve. I've seen some properties; they look fantastic. Some brand new ones, some that have been renovated from, buildings that were built in the 70s, 80s. So it's fantastic to see that there is both angle being present, and I think there's always a lot of opportunity for brands. Nowadays there are brands that are super simple to put on a property, and then there are some that require a bit more, facilities or room sizes, etc. So I think if I had to put my money, I would say that there will be more brands coming that are fairly straightforward to convert existing hotels into, and then there will be more of those hard brands coming into new developments where the property can be tailored to the need of those brands. So I think that's what I would assume will be the market trend going forward.
Is there anything the government could do to attract those brands, like maybe dealing with bureaucracy problems, for example?
Absolutely. I think, it sort of connects to just general governmental stability or political stability. It's always a good sign because a lot of these brands are from American backgrounds. If you think Hilton, Marriott, these are all American. IHG is an English brand. Accor is a French one. Wyndham, Radisson, Radisson is Chinese now, but they have a massive presence in the US. So these brands will want to have that stability and want to feel that the market is not too exposed to the geopolitical events, because otherwise they just simply wouldn't want to have their name in the market. So I think just continuing in this stable growth, making sure that the policies they do are aligned with markets that are perhaps a couple of years ahead. I think that's a good, progress that they can take. But I think there is not much that the government can do. It's mainly on the investors' side. If they see potential in the market, and they will see it partly again because of the political situation, so it all connects. But I think if the investors see the potential, so will the brands, and then the path is paved.
No, I mean maybe the government can make some registration and paperwork things easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if the more sort of policies or financial systems, the more that it's established and clean to follow, as you say, lack of bureaucracy, lack of solutions which are sometimes left from old times. If it's more aligned with Western financing terms, then I think that will definitely help, and that will also make everybody's life easier, not just the brands, but even the end customer, right? If they can pay with card, then most people will just pay with card instead of going to the bankomat, take out cash. These things will definitely help, yes.
Is there anything important that you would like to add?
I think the most important what I've seen so far is I've never been here before, and I've tried to come with an open mind, and I've been very pleasantly surprised about. Obviously, I've only seen Yerevan, not the rest of Armenia, but people are super kind. There's a great English knowledge, which again for internationals is very important. The city is incredibly clean. There is an amazing nightlife. It's booming. It's fantastic to see that there is life in the city. So I hope that this continues and this becomes even more prominent, because I think from what I've seen so far, it's a fantastic city and country and with a lot of potential. So I hope it will be best utilized.